everyone from Highfield, very nice to sort of see you and do this video for you again. This week I'm looking at developing your hand-eye coordination. Developing hand-eye coordination is important for anybody who wants to do well in sport, who wants to be a good sportsman or woman. This will help you, developing this will help you in all sports really, but particularly those ones that involve a ball, such as hockey, cricket, rounders, tennis, those kind of games. So there's lots and lots of different, and lacrosse of course, and there's lots and lots of different things we can do. I'm going to start with just a simple tennis ball and a wall. Hopefully you've got a wall suitable at home, ideally outside, because you don't want to be damaging any walls on the inside. So first of all, we can just do straightforward things like throwing and catching against a wall. And a wall serves as a very useful partner if you don't happen to have a brother and sister or parent who is able to sort of help you practice and develop your skills. So we'll start with just an underarm throwing catch. Okay, so I'm going to release from my right hand, underarm throwing catch, and you'll see there I've caught with an overhand action. I need to practice also with an underhand action for those lower catches. What I'm trying to do is bring the ball always into me. So underhand, I call this, two hands together, underhand and overhand. Overhand. Good. I can also start to think about practicing with single hands. Single hand catching can come into play certainly in cricket. So we do need to practice that as well. So again, I would look to practice the underhand kind of catch as well as the sort of overhand catch. Okay. I would also look to practice that in my left hand to try to get my left hand, or my non-dominant hand I should say, as good as my dominant hand. Okay, so that's important. If you're finding that too tricky just at the beginning, it might be a good idea to sort of rewind and just go back to sort of simple throwing and catching in each hand. Just getting your confidence up, bouncing the ball on the ground, getting used to sort of coordinating your hand with your eye and with the ball. Always practice with both hands and arms, that's really important. When you get really confident, you can really go for the overarm throw very hard against the wall. You need to be stood a little well back to try and make those catches. Other things you can do to make it a little bit more challenging for yourself is that you can feed the ball off to one side at an angle, so you have to reach to gather it on one side or the other of your body. So several practices for you there, just using a simple ball. The next one I want to talk about is sort of netball and basketball practice using a wall, and developing your general hand-eye coordination. So the first kind of ones I would talk about is the single hand bouncing. So this is using my strong hand, and then a bit trickier with my non-dominant hand, and something I need to practice. Then we can go alternately, which is good, and just speed up and get quicker and quicker and better at that. Then we can look at practicing the standard passes, so the chest pass, even the bounce pass, the overhead. As you know, in netball I really encourage the overhead. The overhead will always get the ball nice and high off the ground and normally to your players. Lower passes can be quite easily intercepted. So let's keep that ball nice and high and practice the overhead. And you can also practice the shoulder pass. Okay, so nice and strong. Again, this is a nice aerial high pass. And we do that repeatedly. Shooting practice can also be done. So the netball action, push up. I won't push up here because the ball, I don't think the ball's quite high enough. But if you've got a high enough ball, there's no reason why you can't practice your netball shooting action and your basketball shooting action against the wall. Next up, important for developing the hand-eye coordination, is being able to link up your eyes and your arms with the ball using a racket. To be able to coordinate that is a useful skill. So the first kind of things we can do, simply bouncing the ball on the ground, lifting the ball up, bouncing it on your forehand and your backhand, having a go at practicing that. Then when you start to feel ready, have a go against the wall. Before you do that, I would say useful with a tennis ball to just get used to catching the ball off the bounce. Catching the ball off the bounce before we take a racket into this. So I would say start off nice and easily. So lifting that ball up nice and gently, trying to control things with the forehand. Get yourself nice and sort of consistent on that. Then you look at the backhand, getting that going on the wall, and so on. And you can also practice your volleys on the wall. So not letting the ball bounce. Another useful skill if you're playing tennis and coming into the net. Other ideas we can think about, if you've got a hockey stick at home, or a lacrosse stick, or a cricket bat. With hockey and a ball and a wall, of course you can practice your standard passes, your push passes, your clip hits, your slaps, your hits. But we can also think about doing some keepy-uppies with the hockey stick. Okay, just a couple of ideas there for you. With a lacrosse stick, some of you will have a lacrosse stick at home. We can you don't even need a proper lacrosse ball, you can use a tennis ball. Throwing the ball up to yourself, catching the ball, practicing that on both sides of the body can also be good. And also, you can throw against the wall and practice gathering the ball potentially off the bounce. That can be another useful practice. And lastly, for those budding cricketers, and of course the cricket season is coming very soon, we can just use a simple tennis ball, cricket bat if you have one. Again, keepy-uppies can be quite good fun. Challenge yourself, how many can you do? But I would say it's a good chance to practice some of your shots, your batting shots against the wall, and some of your bowling. So we can basically look at the forward drive, off the bounce. Okay. Get used to doing that. Bounce the ball and then drive it forward. You can kind of do that repeatedly. If you've got enough space, we can look to perhaps chalk, draw a set of stumps. Maybe you've got a set of stumps that can rest against the wall. run up and practice your bowling. So lots and lots of ideas there for you. Remember, the time you put in to practicing those little skills will pay off enormously in your sport in the long run. The more you can do, the better you will be. Good luck, Highfield, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.